All right, we've got a problem for you today. We're at the beach. It's 8 divided by 2 times 4. Again, 8 divided by 2 times 4. What's the answer? All right, today we're going to look at the problem 8 divided by 2 times 4, and we're going to dispel a myth that I see a lot of people falling for here. All right, so if you think you know the answer to this, we will see. Um, The answer to the problem is 16. Now, where people get confused, a lot of people out there will keep claiming that multiplication is solved before division, all because they looked at an acronym like PEMDAS or BODMAS, and they automatically think, well, PEMDAS is the one that really throws people off because people see the M before the D, so they automatically think that multiplication is before division. But multiplication and division are at the same level. This is what a lot of people fail to remember because they just memorize 6 letters. Division is multiplication by the reciprocal. 8 divided by 2 is the same thing as 8 multiplied by 1/2. 8 divided by 2 times 4 is the same thing as 8 times 1/2 times 4. Well, that's equal to 16. That's pretty simple. 8 divided by 2 times 4, once again. All right, so again, 8 divided by 2 times 4 is 16. Pretty simple stuff. Remember, again, multiplication and division have the same priority. When operations share a priority, we evaluate left to right. So when you have 8 divided by 2, so it's 8 divided by 2 is 4, then 4 times 4 is 16. Final answer, 16. The M and D are at the same level. So when you see something like PEMDAS, PEMDAS, or BODMAS, BODMAS, they're the same thing. They give the same answer of 16. Even though the M is before the D in PEMDAS and the D is before the M in BODMAS, it makes no difference because the M and the D are at the same level. But once again, people get confused by these acronyms. Why are they at the same level? Division, again, is just multiplication by a reciprocal. 8 divided by 2 is the same thing as 8 times 1/2. If we rewrite all divisions as multiplication, the expression becomes 8 divided by 2 times 4 is 8 times 1/2 times 4. Now it's only multiplication, which is commutative and associative. So 8 times 4 times 1/2 would be 32 times 1/2 is 16. So you can see that once you have it set up in multiplication, I can take 8 times 1/2 times 4. I can take 8 times 4 times 1/2. You still get the same answer of 16. So this shows why multiplication and division belong together at one rank. Do not get confused by PEMDAS or BODMAS. Don't simply memorize the alphabetical order of 6 letters. These are not 6-step checklists. All right. This huge PEMDAS and BODMAS myth, it's really rampant, and I see it all over online in all kinds of posts where people keep insisting multiplication before division. Again, PEMDAS and BODMAS list groups of operations, not a 6-step checklist. You have the PB, whether you're talking parentheses or brackets, PB, parentheses, brackets, EO, exponents, orders, would be step number 2. Step number 3 is your multiplication and division, again at the same level. And then step number 4 is addition and subtraction. Again, these are at the same level. I can't tell you how many times I've had people try to tell me addition is solved before subtraction because the A is listed before the S. And that's their entire reasoning, and that is nonsense. It's completely wrong, and people need to quit thinking that. It's not true. It's never been true. The myth, multiplication comes before division. That is a myth. It's also a myth that addition comes before subtraction. The truth, M and D are tied. Do them left to right. The same tie applies to the AS. Again, addition and subtraction are equivalent. If you wrongly do multiplication first in 8 divided by 2 times 4, you'd end up computing 2 times 4 is 8 first, then you'd have 8 divided by 8 equals 1. Well, that answer assumes hidden parentheses that aren't there. Another thing you can do is make the structure explicit with parentheses. Now they're not necessary. That there's another myth that goes around where people say, well, if there's no parentheses or brackets, you just go left to right. And some people will solve addition and subtraction before multiplication or division just because they don't see parentheses. And that is another myth, probably just as big as the myth that people have in their misunderstanding of acronyms. It's not true. The way that the problem's written, you could put redundant parentheses or brackets around the 8 divided by 2. It doesn't change the problem. If I do that, as you see here, you still get the answer of 16. Well, I don't have to put the parentheses around the 8 divided by 2, but I'm explicitly doing so. Now, the people that think the answer is 1, you would have to put parentheses or brackets around the 2 times 4. In order to do this multiplication first, you would have to have parentheses around 2 times 4. Then it would be 8 divided by 8 equals 1. But you cannot get 1 unless you prioritize this multiplication. And the only way you can do that is with parentheses or brackets. So again, without parentheses, now, I don't like the way this is necessarily worded. Without parentheses, conventional math defaults left to right for same level ops. I'm going to say that again very slowly. Left to right for same level ops. That means multiplication and division are same level ops. Addition and subtraction are same level ops. Addition and multiplication are not same level ops, so you do not just blindly solve left to right and ignore the fact that multiplication would have priority over addition. I think this is where people get confused. When you hear left to right, people think, well, without parentheses, everything's left to right. It's not true. It is only for same level operations. And again, people are still going to miss that. I see it all the time. Now, you have some confusion as well over division symbols. I know ISO has a thing where they don't recommend the use of the obulus. So you have the obulus, which is the little horizontal line here with the dots above and below, versus your fraction bar, versus the horizontal bar, which is a horizontal line that I don't show here. But the symbol here, this is an obelus, or a plain slash in typing does not automatically group what follows. Now, if you have a horizontal fraction bar, that does group the entire numerator and denominator. So if you had a horizontal fraction bar, this is a slash. A horizontal fraction bar would be equivalent to the slash with parentheses around the 2 times 4. That that signifies the 8 in the numerator and the 2 times 4, which also equals 8, in the denominator. But unless you have parentheses around this multiplication, or unless this slash becomes a horizontal line with the 8 above it and the 2 times 4 below it, um, then you are not going to get the answer of 1. Our problem as written, with using the obulus, does not use the horizontal fraction bar. It uses the obulus, 8 divided by 2 times 4. So there's no special grouping here. This division is solved first. 8 divided by 2 is solved first. All right, some common mistakes to address here. Again, I've said it 100 times, treating PEMDAS as strict top to bottom. That is wrong. Always do multiplication before division, some people will say. No, the right answer is M and D are tied together. You just go left to right. Whichever one is first, you solve it first. If your multiplication is first going left to right, you do it first. If division is first going left to right, you do it first. Again, and you can convert it all to multiplication. Convert the division multiplication. Some people invent implied parentheses. They see 8 divided by 2 times 4, and they mentally change it to 8 divided by 2 times 4 within parentheses. Well, this is not the same. This is not the same as this. So a lot of people make that mistake. Also, some people are overvaluing implicit multiplication. Now, we don't have implicit multiplication here, but some people will think that 2 times 4 binds tighter than 2 times 4, explicitly written out with a multiplication sign. Again, that is an old interpretation in mainstream math. Implicit and explicit multiplication are really given the same precedence. If you want to avoid that controversy altogether, I suggest just using the multiplication symbol and write it out that way. A lot of people are confused with calculators. I have separate videos on this as well. Calculator mode confusion, immediate mode versus expression mode. Both on or left to right for multiplication and division. Now, where you run into problems is you will, if you have addition, multiplication, subtraction, all mixed together, immediate execution mode calculators do not inherently solve according to the order of operations. You need to understand on those types of calculators to perform the multiplication and division first. So your cheap dollar store calculators on a Windows computer, the standard mode calculator, they all work in immediate execution mode, and people will get the wrong answer when they type in the whole expression and then hit the equal sign. They're going to get the wrong answer because they're not using that type of calculator correctly. Please check out some of my other videos related to calculators if you're not sure. And again, a lot of people think you must always go left to right, even across all levels. Only same level operations follow that rule. A lot of people think that you always go left to right unless you have parentheses, and this is not true. It only applies to same level operations. All right, so this is kind of, we're going into a lot here, but again, 8 divided by 2 times 4 is 16. Some rules to remember. PEMDAS, BODMAS, they group operations. Multiplication and division share level. AS, addition and subtraction, share the same level. For same level operations, you go left to right. If a different grouping is intended, show it with parentheses. Here's a pro tip. If an expression mixes multiplication and division, and you're unsure, just rewrite division as multiplication by a reciprocal. It removes the myth and makes the structure obvious. All right, so I hope this video has been helpful to you. If the video has been helpful, please like, share, subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.